Okay, so now we're going to create a abstract line background. So we'll go down here to step 1. Create a new document that's 1200 by 800. So 1200 by 800, a white background. File, new. So make sure here you want 1200 in here. Make sure it's on pixels. And the height you want that to be 800. And then the color, white. So you've got the drop down menu, you've got choices of white or black or custom. Let's click on white and create. And the next step, we're going to create the gradient layer. So it's going to be 80 degrees, and here are our color stops. You'll see what those are. So we'll go back to Photoshop, and you're going to select the one that's the circle down here in the bottom right, the one that's half dark and half light. So click on that. Then go up to gradient fill. And it's supposed to be on 80 degrees, so we'll go and change the angle here. 80. Then we're going to click on this line here for our gradient colors. We'll go back to the instructions. So here are the color codes. So we can copy this one. I'm going to go down here to the left end and double click on that. Or right click right here in this box and paste in the code. So you can see it's going to be a light blue. So we'll click OK. Then we'll get the color code that's going to go in here. Click copy. Then we'll double click here, paste, click OK. We're still not done yet. We're still going to have to play around with these other stops enough, because you can see what it looks like up here. It's all white, this top right corner area. And we want that to be more of this pinkish color. So to do that, kind of play around with this stuff a little bit until we get it starting to fill in some. Things are tricky. There we go. Just change the opacity here to 100%. I've got pink color up here and the blue down here. Adjust this down more if you want to. Stop right there while we've got it set fairly well. So click OK. And then click OK. So next step, that was this one. We're going to start we're going to add a new layer. It's going to be white. So this time we're going to go over to the little box with the folded up corner that's by the trash can. So we'll click on that. And we'll go up here to the left, top left, to the marquee tool. And we'll hold it on the mouse and draw our about 1/3 There. And we want this to be white. So you can go over here to the paint bucket, and you might have a gradient tool showing here. So if you don't see a paint bucket, but you see one that says gradient tool, put the mouse on it and right click it, and this little menu comes up. Then you can select paint bucket tool. So once you get that, here's your color palette and all your different colors here. So we want white, so go to the top. Go into one of the corners that's white. Mine's on the top left. So go up there, go to the paint bucket, put it on your rectangle, and left click on the mouse, and that's white. And then on your keyboard, Control D, deselect your layer. Now I'll go to the next directions. So we're going to move our triangle around. This one, or these directions are on an older version of Photoshop. So it says to move the triangle, then move the bottom left point up, or move the rectangle, move the bottom left point up to create a triangle. What I'm going to do is we're going to go over here to Edit, down to Transform, and Skew. So I'm going to click Skew. That'll let us move one of the corners up to make it more into a triangle. So we've got that. Now we're still going to move this off the page a little bit. So I'm going to click on the Move tool up here. Move that off. That doesn't have to look exactly like the picture, but get fairly close. So now we've got that one. Let's go back to the directions. So now we're going to duplicate the shape and flip it vertically. So we're going to have the triangle going back the other direction. I think on this one I might flip it horizontally and vertically. We'll see how it goes. Then we're going to change the color of it. I'll go ahead and copy that. So we still have our shape, this last shape layer selected. So we'll go up here to Layer, New, down to New via Copy. So make sure you've got your Move tool selected over here. Then you can go back to the shape, hold it on the mouse. Now here's another copy. And we need to flip that. So let's see how we're going to flip it to make it fit. Transform. So let's flip it vertical. We got it vertical. Now go back and flip it horizontal. Now I've got our two triangles like that. Let's see how we're looking so far. Yep, looking pretty good. Just need to change the color. So see, this is our new layer via copy. That's this layer right here. So I go to our paint bucket tool, and we can go over here. Should be able to double click on the white and then paste our color in here, paste. Our new color is going to be kind of this bluish. So we'll go down here. Hopefully that's not the same color that's already there. So we'll go down, say click OK. A little bit different. So we've got another shape here. So we'll go to the next step. So we're going to duplicate the shape again, flip it horizontally, tweak the shape around a little bit. Going to give it a new color code. When we're done, we're going to move the order of the shapes so it's down below the last shape of the layers panel. Okay, so we've got this one. We're going to layer, new, via copy. Go to our move tool, move it out of the way. And we're supposed to flip that horizontally and then move it so it's kind of looking like this. Edit, transform, horizontal. We want to change the color. So go to our paint bucket on that, where we copied and pasted the color code. Paste. Okay. I've got a new color. So I'm going to click on the move it down. Somehow part of the color didn't pick up in there, so I'm going to change that, and then kind of get it into a spot. It doesn't really matter probably exactly, as long as it's somewhere. And then we're going to drop it down over here in our layer panel. We're going to bring the mouse over here, hold it on the mouse and drop it down between, underneath the last layer. So it's behind that. So the rest of the way for the directions, all you're going to do is the similar stuff. Just duplicate the shape, place it below all the other shapes, and fit it into a spot on the picture, changing the color. You kind of see how it's starting to come together. Just keep copying the layers, changing the color up, putting it behind other layers. Kind of see how this is all starting to come together. Excuse me. You're gonna end up with a lot of layers here. Add some background noise. There you are done. Then you can change them. Looks like it's gonna have you change some colors. So as long as you end up with something similar to this, A+. So finish out the rest of the tutorial. Stopped up here on step 7. So continue on from step 7. Finish that off the rest of the way, and then save it as a JPEG and email it to me.